workshop. Lots to talk about today. Not just the price of how hardware's gone up, ridiculously. It's just mental. We're going to take a look at a few examples that I bought yesterday and just how expensive they are. And you can compare that price to where you are in the world, because it's just astronomical how much it's gone up. Anyway, give me a second. I need to get organized. We've also got a pie review. It's made by somebody in New Zealand, and Mrs. Mechanic going to give me the lid. So there you go. Look, it's a country chicken and bacon. So if it's got bacon in it, it should be really good. It says tender chicken and bacon in a creamy white sauce. So we'll look forward to that a bit later on. That was a supermarket purchase, by the way. Okay, here we go. Boom, 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 boom. Get rid of the adverts. We have Simon Roll, first one through the workshop door. Good morning, Simon. Hope you're all good, matey. Mike Bazanski, happy Easter, Andy and crew. Happy Easter, Mike. Great to hear. I'll have you back in the workshop, to be honest. Feels a bit of a weird kind of Easter this year. I've been working. I worked really hard on Friday, and I'm going to cover. I did a diagnostic. Woohoo! Simon didn't film it. I didn't. I should have done. I really, really should have done. But I didn't. I had to get the job done, and it was a long day as it was. If I'd filmed it, I wouldn't have got it finished. In fact, I might not have found the fault. Pete, good morning, Andy and crew. How was your week? My week. What did I do this week? I was on the road, actually. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday was visiting motorcycle shops. However, my visit that was scheduled for Wednesday morning in a little village called Otrahanga, pronounced it completely wrong, no doubt, it got cancelled. Unfortunately, there was an outbreak of the zombie virus in that location. Don't want to say too much, trying to be politically correct. And fortunately, the night before, quite late that night, one of the staff called me and said, "Are you really sure you want to come down?" And I'm like, "Why?" So they explained. I was like, "Nope, definitely not coming there. That's not going to happen." So I'll have to postpone that one until things are back to normal. So I came home Wednesday morning. Well, I got home about lunchtime-ish on Wednesday and filled the rest of the day in with some admin work. Thursday was spent driving. I went all the way down to a town called Bulls, which is probably about an hour to an hour and a half. Yeah, about an hour and a half north of Wellington. So I wasn't too far off the bottom of the North Island. I took the little trailer and went to go and pick up a motorcycle. I also swung by Wanganui and picked up some more of those preload spaces for the ROVs that we do. We had a new batch machined up and they were ready. So rather than trust them with the courier company at the moment, it was only about a 45-minute drive extra to go and pick them up. And it was good to chat to the guy that makes them for me. Nice guy. I haven't seen him for a while. He broke his hand actually not too long ago, so he's recovering. And then home, and that was basically the day gone. We came home via Taupo. Came home via Taupo, got some tea, dodgy pizza actually. Mrs. Mechanic's not been very well. And that we were home quite late. Friday. Well, let's just put Friday to one side for a minute. We'll cover what I did on Friday shortly. Who else have we got? Sheldon. Morning, Sheldon. How are you, matey? Hope you had a good week and you got everything done that you needed to get done. Sheldon called me on Friday and he was working. Good Friday, still working. Never ends, does it, Sheldon? It just never ends. It's a continuous conveyor belt of jobs to do. Richie, mate. Good morning, Andy. Happy Easter all. Happy Easter, Richie, mate. Simon, do we have a pie? Good segue, Simon. We have a pie. Here we go. Look, there's the pie. And it's got some sort of peppery stuff on top and it's got a face. Look, it's very sad, actually. It's a sad face, it really is a face. That is a face, isn't it? There's no doubt. Just missing the nose, basically. So I've not had one of these before. I have no idea what it's going to be like. I know we've had to deviate from the steak and cheese norm. But it's not bad, you know. I mean, it's nice to try different pies every now and again. And other than that, when we went to the supermarket yesterday, that's what we did on Saturday, went shopping, hence bought some more hardware and food for the house, keep us going. Got to the supermarket and it was like, well, it's like there'd been a free shop, you know, one of those 5 minutes fill your trolley things for every person going in, because everybody was running around like idiots. And most of the shelves were empty. There was a lot of stuff that just, there was nothing left. It had all gone. I don't quite understand what causes people to do those kind of shops, and buy everything just because it's Easter. But anyway, but yeah, there were no other pies available. That was the only one left in the freezer. So, okay, we'll have that one then. But it came in a pack of 3, which is a good thing. And it wasn't too expensive, though I can't remember the exact price. So, Mike Bazanski, did you get Mr. Rat? Ooh, that would be a real spoiler alert, wouldn't it? The results are in. How's that? Is that enough for now? Because there is a second part to the video. I have filmed it. It's all done. You might spot the odd rat trap around the workshop. We go for a wander. But I'm just contemplating on how to edit the video up. How to prove that Mr. Ratty has been captured without showing Mr. Ratty in a compromised position with regards to the rat trap and loss of life, because I know that YouTube don't like that. So I need to prove to you what's happened, but without showing you the... Anyway, you get the idea. So if you've got any ideas on how I could portray that without breaching, hopefully, YouTube's rules, because I don't want to get barred from YouTube. That would be a terrible thing, especially over just a particular rat. Then do let me know your thoughts on how I could do that video. I don't know. I'm struggling to work out a sensible way of doing it that's going to still protect the channel, but provide the viewers with continuity. So, Mike, just hang in there. Hold that thought. Connor K, morning, Andy and crew. Ooh, that zombie virus. Yes, zombie virus. We actually watched Zombieland Double Tap last night. Brilliant movie. Absolutely phenomenal. And would watch it again and again. It's great. Simon, the face is as sad as the packaging score will be. Yeah. Well, it did come in a box, actually. I haven't got the whole box. I've only got the lid, but it did come in a box. So we'll have to guess what the rest of the box said. Simon, how about a toy rat in the trap that won? Bloody hell. See, this is why you guys are so clever. That's a very good idea, actually. I don't think YouTube could ping me for that. I could do that. Yes. I reckon that'll be okay. So during this next week, I'm on the road, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I will endeavour to pick up somewhere a plastic rat. God knows where I'm going to buy one of those from. But anyway, I don't think pet shops will sell plastic rats, to be fair. I don't think they would encourage any other animal to eat a rat, be it plastic or not. We'll see. I'll see what I can find. I'll have to buy it from a shop because to buy it online will take way too long. Overbuilt Automotive. Good show. All a plan. Pray and see the end will be an amazing result. Use a stuffed rat toy. Perfect. Or a stuffed rat. Yes. Great idea. You're all on the same page here. Handy and crew, get a stuffed rat toy. There we go. Thank you. Peter Swatman. Pete, do a drawing of Mr. Rat. I like the stuffed rat. I like the toy rat idea. I think that should work really well. Brian Moore, good morning, Andy and crew. And everybody, sorry, Brian. I'll say that again. Good morning, Andy and everybody. Good morning, Brian. Welcome to the workshop. Overbuilt Automotive. Cats up fed the rat blood. In all honesty, I'm not going anywhere near the mortified rats. Oh, did I say plural there? I did. I'm letting the cat out of the bag. Jeez. Right. Cheers. You're all awesome, by the way. I wonder if Steve's in the pub. Steve's normally in the pub for my live streams. Come on, Steve, where are you? So, where do you want to start? Shall we get the pie in? Let's do a pie thing first. Let's get it in the cooker, in the pie warmer. So, this is from Countdown Supermarket. It came in a pack of 3. It's a country, not urban, it's a country, chicken and bacon. And it says underneath, tender chicken and bacon in a creamy white sauce. Made in New Zealand, and each pie is approximately 200 grams. And that's all I've got on that, because I only got given the lid. The pie itself, bear with me, got to control cigarette stuff here. Don't leave it too long, it'll burn out. Right, okay, we're going in to camera. Jeez. Okay, oh, it's a good fitting bag, is that? Holy moly. How did they get that in the bag? What come out? There we are. Right. Okay. So, unfortunately, the sad looking pie, very sad on the front. Not a great choice of orifices on there. Quick spin around. Looks pretty intact, doesn't it? I can't see any kind of seal breakage around the top. The sides look pretty good. No cracks. The base, phenomenal. I mean, from a structural perspective, this has every possibility of being phenomenal. However, they have, remember what we found last time, they have chosen to deliberately put holes in the lid. And on previous pies, we've seen, due to thermal expansion, we've seen cracks develop across the crust, which has structurally affected and compromised the pie carcass, the casing. So that could be a bad design flaw, but we won't know until we cook it. So let's head over to the pie warmer and get this slapped in. Here we go. Turn you around. 3, 2, 1. Boom. Okay. Right. Here we go. 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 The pie. Hang on. Sad face pie. Sad face pie. Sad face pie. Dum 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 dum. Right, I'm going to put you down because I'm running out of arms and the cupboard's still closed because I'm an idiot. Right, can you see? Oh, you can see, just. There we go. Dum 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 dum. Right, pie warmer at the ready. We've got power, lights on, correct. Some residue. It's not looking pretty, is it? Okay, sad face pie's in. Shut the door. I reckon that'll be enough, don't you? How many minutes is that? 20, I don't know, 24 minutes. That's ample. Should come out toasty at that. Right, I'll move the battery charger. I don't think it needs to be in the cupboard. I'm going to make a bracket for the battery charger to go on the side there. At the moment, it's on the lathe. So I'll give you a quick scan of the workshop, see if you can spot things. Here we go. What can you spot that's changed with regards to rat traps? There you go, look, how's that? Pretty good. You want to have a look over the beam, don't you, as well? I'm not going to go completely over the beam. There you are. How's that? I think you've got pretty much, if you're keen and you've watched the other video, you'll get a very good idea from that pan what's going on. Right, turn you around, 3, 2, 1, boom. Okay. Bear with me. Right. So the pie's in. It's getting I wouldn't say cooked, but it's getting warmed up for us. Hang on. We're all over the place here. There we go. It's better. So, stuff. Hang on. I can't reach. I've moved everything out in the wrong place. Bear with me. Useless as always. Hang on. Hang on. Okay, I'm back. Calm down. I know it's crap photography today. It is. Just not organised at all. It's been a busy week. So, you know, we were talking about fuel prices going up, all that kind of stuff. Well, that obviously has a massive knock-on effect to everything else we buy, because everything's transported by stuff that uses fuel. So of course, shipping prices go up, freight prices go up. And we had to go to Mitre 10. There you go. I'm sure I can show that logo. Mitre 10, a bit like a B&Q if you're in the UK. Pretty much same colour scheme in all honesty as well, but it might even be a derivative, or it might be linked in some way, I don't know. And we had to buy some stuff, or basically the main reason for going is Mrs. Mechanic started to sand the outside of the house and get all the paint off and use paint stripper and stuff, and we might even shot blast it yet, the way things are going. Work in progress. So she wanted some sandpaper, and to go with the sandpaper on the orbital sander thing, well, on the palm sander we use duct tape at each end of the sandpaper because it reinforces it and it lasts a lot longer. So I bought a roll of duct tape as well, or cloth tape they call it here. So first of all, cloth tape. This is the, and you can, basically the whole idea of this is so you can compare the prices in your area for the equivalent product. Now this isn't your standard size roll. This is a big ass roll of duct tape. Okay, it's silver stuff. It's 50mm wide and it is 50 meters long. It's very, very long. Okay, made by a company called Bear, and it's great for fixing your car. Look at that. Hold the bumper on, which is what a lot of people do in New Zealand when the bumpers fall off. They use zip ties and duct tape, which is great. And that's it. That is the fix. It's not a temporary fix. That's just the fix. So there we go. Look, have a little peruse of the side. You know, it's not bad gear. I don't think I've used this particular brand before. It's actually made by a company called Norton. You can see in there, look, on the actual, on the cardboardy bit, on the printing. General purpose, Norton, I can't read the bits. Saint Gobain, 2 words, Saint Gobain. Since 1954, it's pretty old duct tape. Made in China, as always. Everything is made in China, isn't it? So, cut to the chase, Andy. The price for that in New Zealand dollars is $17.58. $17.50 for a roll of duct tape. But it is a big ass roll of duct tape. So, how does that compare in your area? The one that really got me, really got me, was the basically what I call tech screws. They probably aren't. They're actually classed here as roof and cladding hex head split thread type 17 with seal. Well, we take the seals off, but we use these on the fence. So there you go. Look, there's a box of 250. These are 14 gauge and are 65mm long, and they are zinc coated. All right. So good for outdoor use, which is ideal. Galvanized class 4, quantity 250. And yeah, you know, they're really quick and easy to fit. I like them a lot. They don't break. These actually are a quality one. They don't snap off. I've never had a head snap off. And I use the little Makita impact wrench, the 3/8 drive one, for putting them in, and it's great for that job. Really quick, does it perfectly. 10mm socket size, by the way. So every chance I could lose the socket, but you know, it's worth the risk. So just jumping down to the bottom of the receipt, the last entry there, look, if you can see that, $99.80, $100 a box, $100. I'll say that one more time, $100 per box. What the hell? Absolutely ridiculous. The last time I bought those, I think they were from Bunnings and not Mitre 10, and they were around about 40. It was under $50 a box, less than half that price. Although it would have been probably a year ago that I bought some. Oh, hang on, got to scroll up. Comments are all over the place. Jim K is in the work. Good morning, Jim. I think I've missed some of your calls this week. Sorry, mate. Simon, I was wrong. The wrapped video was 4 bottles of cider video. It was a long video, wasn't it? It was quite a long video. In fact, the longest one, and it wasn't planned that way, was the most recent one that went out, which was the CB radio install and the Senna kit. turned out to be quite a sad video, didn't it? I was really annoyed by the end of that video. Not had that many views, but hey, it's just the way it goes. I've captured it. If you're going to fit a Sena gear to your bike and use CB radio, don't buy a GME CB radio. It just doesn't work. It's just incompatible. And when I contacted Sena, they finally came back to me, and they said they didn't know. They didn't know if the GME radio was compatible or not, but happy to sell me another lead. It's like, that horse has already bolted, chaps. It's not going to happen. Overbuilt automotive. Andy, lighting a cigarette myself. What is the price of a pack in New Zealand these days? $3 to $6. Oh, God. Okay, so these are, I think I'm okay to show. I've shown them before, never a problem. These are the slightly longer. They're called extras here in New Zealand. So Pall Mall, or Pall Mall if you're in England. Extras. They're menthol cigarettes. I don't spot the normal ones very often. And these are about $36, $37 a packet. Very expensive. Ridiculously expensive. Jacinda's earning lots of money out of cigarettes these days. So yes, where were we? Right. Mike Bazansky, consume any Easter candy? No, not yet. I'm partial to those Cadbury eggs. I used to like the Cadbury eggs, the little ones that had the eggy bit inside. And Cadbury's cream eggs, they were called. But here in New Zealand, they've changed the contents, the inner, not the chocolate so much, but the inner is way too sweet now. It's just like eating a big glob of sugar. So I'm not really a fan anymore. I've sort of gone off them, and as have a lot of people here in New Zealand. The kids still eat them, obviously, but for adults, they're just a little bit on the sweet side, to be fair. The New Zealand ones, I'm sure the UK ones are probably still the same. Simon. Mike Bazansky, in the UK, we do the Cadbury eggs wrapped in chocolate brownie and rolled in sprinkles. Holy shit. Honestly, you couldn't do that with the New Zealand one. It would just be, you might as well just dip your head in the sugar bowl. It's gone out. It's died. That's the end of that one. There's $2 gone or more. Yeah, $2 basically, isn't it? One of those. Andy said it was $38 a pack. Yeah, near enough. $38 a pack, which is astronomical. JJ. Morning, Andy and crew. I've got little rabbits and I've got thumbs up again. Thanks, JJ. Cheers, mate. Overbuilt automotive. Makita brand. Oh, sorry, Milka brand. Milka brand chocolate is best I found. Best I found it was on sale. Yummy German stuff. Milka. I've heard of Milka. I don't think we get Milka here though. Not seen it. I'm not really a chocolate fan, to be honest. Tend to spare the calories for the pies. Overbuilt automotive, 38 a pack. Shit, F. Me, what nutters, sad state. It's just horrific. We've covered this a few times. I mean, New Zealand has got this plan of being smoke-free, I don't know, in a few years. I can't remember how far away it is. And then you look at their definition of smoke-free, and it's 80% of the population don't smoke. It's not quite smoke-free, is it, world? But anyway, they'll never achieve it. They won't. Nuts Barsden. Hello, Andy, and all Andy Mechanic fans. Cheers, Nut. Appreciate that, matey. And hello to you too, sir. Heavy on the wrist. Can't say I've ever used duct tape to hold my bumper on there. There are many experts in New Zealand on car repairs using only duct tape and zip ties. It's just unbelievable, the ingenuity and design of it. Integrate. What? Charging your phone. Earn money whilst charging your phone for charity. What the hell? Stupid phone. Yeah, it is quite impressive, actually. Really, sometimes you look at it and go, wow, that's actually not a bad job. You know, some of it's pretty shit. And those that are not very skilled will use packing tape and not duct tape. And of course, when it rains, all that peels off and it looks just shit, basically. Doesn't last very long. But duct tape, it's a good idea. Now then, overbuilt automotive. Notor makes good sandpaper. I don't think the sandpaper, we're going to come to that. Oh, okay, right, we'll come to that shortly. I have used Norton sandpaper before, and it is good. And I think we've actually got some here. I think, in fact, possibly the roll we've got here is Norton sandpaper. Hang on a minute. So this is a roll of, I think it's 80 grit. No, 40 grit. Wow, pretty aggressive stuff. This is a roll that we got years ago. I've no idea what the price was. This was when we were doing the house up, basically, sanding all the floors and other bits of joinery and stuff. And this is, look at that. It is, I think you see that or not, it is made by Norton, St. Gobain. So, same people as the duct tape. And this is very good sandpaper. I mean, the fact is it's still here and I use it on a regular basis and there's still plenty left. Moving on to sandpaper, great segue. Price-wise, so we've got two lots here. We've got made by Norton, again, here we are, look. So there's your Norton sandpaper. So good gear. It's nice to know it's good gear. This is a P120 and this is a 40mm roll and 100mm wide, which is pretty standard width for palm sanders and stuff. So that's why we got it. It's the finishing sandpaper, so 120 grit, yeah, 120 grit. And the sandpaper, where the hell is that? There we are, look. So Master Paint, P120, for 40 meters of sandpaper, 100, wait for it, $112. $112. Astronomical amount of money. Really incredible amount of money. The equivalent, what's this one? P60. So almost as rough as the other stuff. P60. This one is only a 32-meter roll, so it's not as long. 100 mil wide. This one was $101 for the roll. $101. So almost, well, $213 worth of sandpaper. Just there. $213. Honestly, the prices are just horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. What's your sandpaper price? Any ideas in your country on the roof and cladding screws as well? Just to get some kind of feedback on that. Overbuilt. Overbuilt Automotive. Duck original silver duct tape, 50mm by 50 meters, $16.99 US. So actually, once you take into account the exchange rate, the duct tape here, I know this isn't the original duct tape, it's Norton's stuff, but slightly cheaper. I feel slightly better, and that will last me a very long time. We just ran out. The previous roll that I had was a normal size roll, and that lasted me for years, so that will last me a very long time. So that's not too bad. I feel better about that. Okay. Simon, same roll from here we go, from Screwfix, 3 for a tenner, or $3.79 each. So $3.79, that's about 10 New Zealand dollars. Holy shit. And Simon, is that for a 50-meter roll from Screwfix, or is that for a standard size duct tape roll? Because they're a lot smaller, aren't they? Just so you know. Overbuilt Automotive, Gorilla duct tape, 1.88 inches by 50 yards, aka 45 meters black, the good stuff, $14 US. So that's about equivalent, isn't it? It's about the same sort of money once you exchange it, I would say. Maybe a little bit more expensive. Gorilla is a bit more expensive, to be fair. Adrian Mifsud, hopefully I've pronounced that right, Adrian. The same cloth tape from Bunnings in Melbourne, Australia is $10.30 for 25 meters. So half the length for $10. That's more expensive. That is more expensive because US that's about 23 New Zealand dollars, 22, 23 New Zealand dollars for 50 meters. So again, this one cheaper, which is good. Not bad. And speaking of gas prices, I have a buddy trying to sell a GM 396 and a 454 stock motors. Not a great time, I said. Somebody will buy them. Somebody will have those. Simon roll for a 50-meter roll. That's ridiculously cheap, Simon. Very, very cheap. I wonder if Screwfix will actually ship to New Zealand. Be interested to find out, won't it? I'll have to give that a go. Simon, sorry. I'm not telling you how cheap the sandpaper roll is. Oh, you're killing me. I couldn't believe how expensive the sandpaper was, and the screws. I mean, come on, anybody else got a price, or anybody got a price on these? Because these really have hurt my wallet big time. That's what we've got there. Look, I'll hold it for a second so you can get the specs. All right, and maybe I can take one out and you can have a look. You can see exactly what we're on about. I'm not bothered about the rubber sealing ring, by the way. Mrs. Mechanic takes them all off because it's really used for roofing, for holding corrugated iron and stuff down. But you know, for fencing, you don't want that rubber piece. So I save them all. I have thousands of them, and one day I'll come up with a plan to use them for something. But there you go. That's what it looks like, and they are extremely good. Very impressed, and they don't seem to corrode. They seem to last really well. And you can buy stainless steel ones and stuff, but they are just stupid money. Really, really expensive. Does it say where they're made? Oh. Made, hang on, I can't read this, it's tiny. Made in PRC? Where the hell's that? Sure it says PRC. Hang on, I've got to do the old man thing, because, you know, I'm over 50 now. I'm sure we all do this, don't we? Take a photo and zoom in. Oh, there we go, look. Yeah, made in PRC. There, look. Made in PRC. So where's PRC? Is that China? PRC? PR Republic China? I don't know. Could be wrong. I have no idea. No idea at all. But yeah, let me know if you've got those made by a company called Otter. Otter make those. And I've bought many of them, thousands and thousands of them over the years because they're really, really good. And you can reuse them. You take them out and put them somewhere else. And they're just great. And the heads don't seem to round off too badly either. And they're very strong. John Nuttall, hi, I'm sorry, I'm late. I had to finish watching Regan Tells Soviet Jokes. I'm still laughing. That sounds a good one. Sheldon, People's Republic of China. There you go. People's Republic is made in China. Everything's made in China. Thanks, Sheldon. Simon, do you want me to pin you the link for roofing screws from Screwfix? Cheap as hell. Yes, do that, and I'll see if I can put an order in, because I'm always using them. So I could always put an order in and see if they turn up. That'll be interesting. Yeah, do that, Simon. Flick it through on on an email for us. Adrian Mifsud, PRC, People's Republic of China. Thank you very much, Adrian. Yeah, Richard Perry, PRC. Honestly, I'm dumb when it comes to that kind of stuff. Cheers, Richard. Vijay Governor, People's Republic of China. Right, well, there we go. Made in China. It's conclusive. Made in China. What else do we get? So we've done the bolt, done the screws, sorry. We've done the extortionately priced sandpaper, done the duct tape. One last thing. Now, because Mrs. Mechanic is removing many layers of paint from the house at the moment. Oh my God. The family chat's going mental. Right. Uncle Graham was here the other day and he said, oh, have you got a tungsten carbide scraper? And I said, yes, I think I have. Could I find it? No. So whilst we were there, I bought Mrs. Mechanic a new tungsten carbide scraper and a spare blade. Now, there you go. Look, I'm sure you've all got one of these in your drawers somewhere. The actual whole tool with the blade, it comes with a blade in it. I'll take it out. Hang on. With the blade was, I don't know, what was the price? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. It's in here somewhere. We did buy a few more things while we were there, by the way. So the scraper blade, just the blade, was $9.98. Ouch. It is double-sided though. Where do we get to? The actual scraper itself, with a blade, $12.49. So only another another $2.50, and you get the handle and everything. But did I want two handles? So I just bought a spare blade. I should have bought maybe a whole thing. But there you go. There's the blade on it. It's about, is it 50 mil wide? Yes, 50 mil wide blade. And obviously once Mrs. Mechanic's finished with it, I'm sure I'll have uses for it in the workshop as well. but it might just help her to get into the little corners and stuff, you know, to scratch the last bit of paint out. We are using some paint remover stuff that she paints on, which is quite expensive. We've got 20 litres of it. It's quite expensive. It's like $200 delivered. And she's already munched away through a quarter of that. So that's going to be, you know, you multiply that out to the whole house, and that's going to be quite a lot of paint stripper to go on there. Pretty expensive. So I'm contemplating about using a little handheld shot blaster that you can buy cheap enough. I think Ben's got one that I can borrow. And just some normal sand, and just see how that works. Because that way it gets into all the nooks and crannies as well. It makes it really easy, but it might take a long time. And we can probably run that off just the big electric air compressor that we've got. So it could be an option. We'll have to see. Obviously we'll end up with sand all over the garden, but that doesn't matter. We're going to build a deck anyway, so it'll just disappear. So that's the end of the costings. There were the four main items that I wanted to cover, and get some kind of feedback on what they're over there. I mean, Simon's told me that, you know, Screwfix is, we've covered this a few times, Screwfix is crazy cheap for that kind of stuff. I don't think they deliver to New Zealand, but I will give it a go, and we'll see what turns up. Now, Overbuilt Automotive, Flexos FLV 94287 A203 aluminium oxide sanding roll, 115mm, so a bit wider by 50 meters, $100. Bloody, but that's aluminium oxide sanding roll. I think that's a bit different, that stuff. That's actually extremely expensive. That's more expensive than this stuff. Wow. Mike Bazanski. Oh, thanks, Overbuilt. Mike Bazanski just saying, face on the pie looked a little Chinese. I don't know. I've never seen a Chinese pie before. Bruce Cleaver, morning Andy and crew. Did you get an offer price on the Castrol candle? No, not yet, Bruce. Still work in progress. Oh, this message health review. Yeah, Matty, I can't say that. I'm going to have to hide you on that one. Sorry, mate. Error, try again. It won't even delete your comment. What the hell? No. Okay. Another moderator just handled this. Cheers, mate. Right, so we've caught up with that. How are we doing with the pie? Still ticking. Time for another cigarette then. Has anybody got me a price on these screws yet? I feel robbed. Maybe it's just me not wanting to spend money, but I mean, they'll last us a while, but we, to be fair, we do get through them doing the fence, and we've still got a lot more fence to do. And today, we are putting one more fence post in. There's still two to go in, but we're going to put one more in, into the ground, concrete in. Got to dig a hole. And we're going to put one of the two gate posts in. Now, these are big-ass gate posts. There's the pie. 300mm by 300mm by 2.4 meters long, with about a meter going into the ground. So it's going to be a big hole and lots of concrete. So we got some more builders mix yesterday. Yes, yesterday got that, so we can make concrete, which is good. So I've got to clean the cement mixer out and get all my garnet out and start making concrete again. So that's probably going to take most of today, and then we've got one more panel of the fence to put the planks in, which we were supposed to do last Sunday after the live stream, but swarm of wasps, loads of wasps, not everywhere around the place, just in the one area of the garden where we needed to. And we left them for an hour. I went to go and edit a video, came back out, and they were still there. They were there all afternoon, so we couldn't work. Hopefully they won't be around today. It is getting a lot colder now, so I think they're trying to find somewhere to live, and give it a few weeks, there won't be any around at all. But it'd be good to keep the momentum going on the fence. And after this weekend, so tomorrow, here you go, what I'm doing tomorrow. Tomorrow, I've got to drive up to Auckland. It's Bank Holiday Monday here, obviously Easter Monday tomorrow. Drive all the way up to Auckland to two of the surf clubs. I've got to go first to Piha and then to Arewa. So I'm picking up one ROV from each surf club and bringing them back. The one from Piha has only recently I've serviced it, and it has a running fault. It has a misfire above 40 kilometers an hour, which is really odd because it was fine when it left here. So I wonder what they've done with it. So I've got to diagnose and fix that. And the one from Ariwa is the annual service. So that's going to be quite a big job, calipers and CVT drive and that kind of stuff. So next weekend, we'll be flat out doing all that stuff again. Now, Harry Dag. Good morning, Harry. Hey y'all. Went to the doctors today, found out I definitely have what they call stage 4 cancer and chemo. And chemo I can't do because I have a small bleed on my liver. Shit, mate. Harry, you need to get patched up. Get that liver fixed first, and then you can go and get your chemo. That's not good. It's not good at all. I did discuss your condition with Mrs. Mechanic after the live stream, and yeah, she's very sad to hear that you've got this problems at the moment. Warning from John: abrasive blasting with sands containing crystalline silica can cause respiratory disease. Really? That's not good, is it? So Mrs. Mechanic, she'll have to wear a really good face mask if we go down that route. That's good to know, though. Thank you, John. We're always sort of pushing the boundaries of danger in Andy Mechanic Workshop. So, bit of a story. While the pie is just cooling down, it's been in for a while, we'll start a little story about a diagnostic. Now, I can't say too much on the specific side because it's the brand that I can't mention. So, of course, you now know which brand it is. The customer complaint was erratic, very high. She called it high idle. In reality, it was revving its nuts off. When it occurred, and it would only happen when it was hot, she said, between 3,000 and 4,000 RPM. Hand off the throttle, just sat there revving its nuts off. Made it very difficult to ride. If you're trying to change gear whilst riding, of course, it would hold the revs up and make the gear changing quite jerky. She ended up slipping the clutch quite a bit to try and smooth things out. This problem's been going on since October last year. It's been to 2 motorcycle shops. The first one fired the parts cannon at it. Not going to say any names. The second one methodically went through and did a diagnostic, but still missed the problem. The second shop did do some other work on the bike as well and did not charge her for the diagnostic work because they hadn't fixed the fault. Although they thought they'd fixed the fault before when it left, but they weren't 100% sure, so they just charged her for what they'd done. I think they did valve clearances on the bike, which is no easy task on one of those. And the bill was very reasonable. Oh, and they got the injectors cleaned as well, thinking it might be that, which it clearly wasn't. But the bike does run better now with the injectors cleaned, so they probably want it. It's done 40,000 kilometers, this bike. So the owner of the bike contacted me and was basically had spent at that point about $700 with the first motorcycle shop, the one that had replaced the idle speed control valve. It didn't fix the fault, and was really upset. This bike had been basically unrideable, although she did go out every now and again because she wanted to ride a motorbike. And the fault was erratic. It didn't happen every day. It was just now and again. So she sort of put up with it sometimes. But she didn't really want to ride it because when it happened, it wasn't very nice to ride at all. And of course, she didn't know when it was going to happen. So I agreed to go down and collect the bike. That was a 550 kilometer round trip. It was a long way. It was a day's driving. And we got home. Mrs. Mechanic came for the ride and we got home late Thursday night. Now, I hadn't planned really on starting work on the bike until maybe a week's time or whatever, when I had a bit more time. But I thought, well, actually, I'm going to have less time from next weekend onwards because we've got ROVs coming in for work. So I thought, well, I know it's Good Friday, but what the hell? I won't be getting any phone calls, apart from Sheldon, obviously. Let's make a start. So I plumbed up the scope onto the idle speed control valve. Now, the idle speed control valve on this particular bike has 4 wires, which is different to the idle speed control valve on the ROVs, which have 6. On the ROV units, they have 2 power feeds and 4 grounding wires that go from the idle speed control valve only to the ECU. On this particular bike, the 4 wires only go from the idle speed control valve to the ECU. So I back probed all 4, and I back probed about midway, only because the connector was easy to get to. The idle speed control valve is buried down in the throttle body. It's very hard to get to down there. So I back probed at a junction onto a subloom. And I didn't know what a known good looked like. I've not done one of this particular model before, but it seemed to all be working fine. So I turned the bike off, just turned the ignition on, and proceeded to go. And the idle speed control valve was still being manipulated. You could see the voltages flicking from one channel to the next, you know, as it's moving the stepper motor around. So I was wiggling the wires around, you know, with the scope running, and well, this is what I came across. Let me show you. Let me bring it up for you. There we go. Right, this is what I found. I'll turn you around. 3. Oh, hang on. We've got stuff in the screen. 2, 1. Boom. Hang on. Bear with me. Bear with me. There we go. This is what I found. This is on the Pico, for those that haven't seen a Pico before. This is only a screenshot. I think I can zoom in. I can. So you can see here, look, we've got the bike, I think, at the time was on the battery charger, I think, from memory. Hence the erratic voltage. But can you see here, look, at some points, all 4 lines flatline. And I thought, that's really odd. It only happened once. This one screen, this one capture, was the only time I got it to replicate, which was a bit weird, you know, because I was wiggling the wires big time. Right, hang on. Nearly went out. So I also had a diagnostic tool connected to the bike at the same time, and a fault code was flagged for the idle speed control valve. So I'm like, okay, let's go after the idle speed control valve circuit. So I removed, first of all, the sub harness from the bike and did an on-bench load test on all the wires, not just the ones with the idle speed control valve. I thought, well, it's already out, let's test everything while it's out. And the wiring, despite the fact that the subloom had been sort of butchered, it had been repaired, and there was a lot of insulation and sheathing missing, it checked out okay. Pin contact seemed to be pretty good too. So I set about tidying it all up, doing a full visual inspection of the wiring as well. So I took all the old sheathing off, all the old manky insulation tape and stuff, and then, you know, resheathed it with some nice new insulation tape and stuff. So it looked really tidy, very similar. I used the same stuff actually. I used an Allen CB750, and it looked really smart by the end of it. And I knew it was a known good. I then pulled the idle speed control valve out just to make sure it was working. It was actually actuating, and it was working fine. However, it wasn't fitted very well into the manifold. The intake manifold, it seemed to be a bit loose, and somebody had put some dielectric grease, I know, some silicone grease on the O-ring to try and make sure that it stayed sealed, because obviously if it's not sealed, it'll draw air in and it'll get basically an inflated idle. So I cleaned all that off, tested it, tested fine, resistance checks and stuff, they were all fine, and it was a brand new idle speed control valve anyway, so it should be a known good in theory. And then refitted it correctly, so it's nice and snug in the manifold, put the retaining bolt back on with a clip, and as far as I was concerned, that wasn't the issue. I then did a load test on the wiring from the sub-lead plug on the main loom to the ECU, which is only about another 6 to 8 inches of wiring. It's not very long, and all of that was fine. I then proceeded to have a little look. I'm not sure if I've got the pictures on here or not. I have on my phone. Hang on. So I had a little visual inspection of the wiring harness and where it comes out of the ECU. And the ECU is on the right hand side of the bike. Very easy to access, by the way, which is good. But the wiring comes out and does a 90-degree horizontal bend, and then it basically rests on a metal wire that supports it, so it doesn't vibrate around and you get broken wires, which is a good thing. And then it poodles off down the frame. And I came across this issue on, what can I show you? Oh, I think I can show you that. I think I can show you that. I can certainly show you that one. Yeah, I'll show you that one. That there's no way you can recognize what bike it is from this picture. I then, so like I said, did a visual inspection and lifted the wiring up off the metal bracket, got my torch, had a little look in, and you know, my eyesight's not great. So I'm there looking at it going, well, is that just a rust mark on the sheathing, or is it actually, you know, where the metal wire bracket had rusted a little bit where it sat? So maybe it's just some of the rust on the sheathing, or has it actually worn through and exposing a wire? So I got my little pick and I was just scratching away, and I could feel it was really rough, and it didn't look right at all. So I took a photo, and this is the photo zoomed in. There you go, look, pretty obvious what's going on there. We've got the sheathing has worn through. We've got the insulation on the pink wire with the blue tracer has worn through. We've got exposed copper, and we've even got corrosion on the copper, which indicates it's been like that for a very long time. So as soon as I saw that, I knew I'd found the fault. I was very, very confident, and I'd come across exactly the same rub through a few years ago on two of the same model previously. Within that sheathing are 7 wires, 3 of which relate to the TPS and 4 of which relate to the idle speed control valve. On this particular occasion, it was the idle speed control valve wiring that was affected, whereas on the previous ones, the last 2, it was TPS. So the fault code was TPS, not idle speed control valve. And what that had done is it had created a short to ground. Now, a momentary short to ground would just momentarily stop the idle speed control valve from actually moving. A prolonged short to ground, the ECU will go, hey, this is not good, and it will actually shut down the voltage output to the idle speed control valve, so then you get nothing. And I think that's what's happened, because not in the workshop, but out on the road, where the owner of the bike told me that if they disconnected the battery on the bike, not just turned it off on the ignition, but if they disconnected the battery, left it for a few minutes, and then reconnected it, the idle speed would then drop to normal again. So the idle speed control valve would then be actuated by the ECU again. So that's what I did. Basically, I found the fault, which was nice. It took me most of the day, to be fair. And of course, then I repaired that part of the main loom. I put some little rubber bits of fuel line, I think it was, on the wire bracket and taped those on. So now it's not, you know, it's got an insulating piece, and it's also going to help to reduce vibration. And obviously repaired the loom and taped it all up and made a nice job of it. The proof is in the pudding. I need to do a test ride on the bike. I've not had a chance to do that yet. I might get that done later on today, or I don't know, next weekend maybe. We'll see how we go. But yeah, things are looking pretty good. Right, back to the live stream. Geez, I've had that on the screen all the way through there. There we are, look. Right, hang on, bear with me, bear with me. I know the pies are ready, bear with me. So that was Friday. And the use of the scope was absolutely brilliant on finding the fault, because I wanted to go through the proper process of finding the fault, as opposed to just, you know, going to where I think what possibly could cause the issue and doing the visual inspection right at the start. I wanted to do it step by step. It would have made a fantastic video, because now that I've come across 3 bikes with the same issue, I'm sure that there are many more out there that have got the higher mileage bikes, and they've been out for a few years now, which will also have that problem. And there is a possibility that on the wiring harness, it sort of splits. There's the main harness and a little branch of the harness both sit on that bracket. And depending on how it's been fitted to the bike, it could be the main harness that's sat on the bracket as opposed to the branch. So it could affect other stuff on the bike as well. But definitely worth checking that location for rub-throughs. Bit of a problem. Hang on, bear with me. Scroll back. Here we go. Right, overbuilt automotive. Number 12. Screws, 2.5 inches hex head. White metal would be seal screw, bag of 250, 28 US dollars. Is ridiculously cheap. Harry Dag, if I come there, maybe you can fix me like you fix the bikes. Harry, I have no idea the human anatomy, mate. I seriously, I'd have to decline. I have no idea at all. I wish Holly was there. She's a lot prettier for sure. Holly's a lot prettier. She is. She's very nice, Holly. Choppers Rule 1. Good day, mates. Good morning. Choppers Rule 1. Welcome to the workshop, matey. Rock and Blues, beautiful girl. She is. And clever too. Overbuilt automotive, load testing, wiring and resistance, etc. is a very good test. Parts changer techs ignore. I can't count the number of times that I've had to explain to a tech how to do a load test and why you do a load test and not a resistance check, or a continuity check, should I say. It's very slowly changing the way techs do things here in New Zealand. But sometimes, I don't know. I mean, I'd asked both motorcycle shops to do a visual inspection of that particular part of the wiring harness where it sits on the bracket, and both shops came back to me and told me it was fine. Did they really check? Did they really take the effort to properly check? I don't know. But what is for sure, they missed it. Both shops missed it, and it wasn't hard. It wasn't hard at all. Very annoying, in all honesty. Very annoying. You know, by the time I've delivered that bike back, I'll have driven 1,100 kilometers and spent a day of my holidays doing the work. Not that I mind too much doing the work on a holiday day, because it's always a learning experience. I enjoy the diagnostic side of it, and you know, it's always a challenge. It's you know, sometimes, I mean, I wasn't expecting it to be such a simple problem, but again, it just reinforces the fact that 9 out of 10 failures on EFI systems are the wiring, whether it's a rub through to ground, or rub through onto another circuit, or it's a break in the wire, or poor pin contact. It's something to do with the wiring. It's not that often it's the components that fail. And firing the parts cannon was completely the wrong thing to do, and that was done directly as a result of the fault code on the diagnostic tool, which is the wrong way to go. The Jane Governor, what about the pie? Good call. Let's go and get the pie, because I'm getting hungry. Right, turning around. 3, 2, 1, boom. Okay, here we go. Where's the pie? Dum 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 dum. Dum dum dum. There we go. Look, nice. Right, what have we got? Well, we've got some thermal expansion on the crack, on the actual joint between the lid and the base. Oh, we've got a little crack coming down the side here as well. A few more little cracks. Okay. Let's go and find out what it really looks like. Sad face pie. Dum 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 dum. Where's a clean place to put it? Let's put it down on the lid. The lid should be relatively clean. Right. Turn you around. 3, 2, 1. Boom. There we go. So, a little bit of a diagnostic story. I do diagnostics now and again. It's not all the time. Not here anyway. Doing quite a bit on other motorcycle shops. Okay, so there you go. Quick spin around of the pie. Dum 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 dum. Not looking too bad for most of it, but we have got that lift and the crack around that area there. So I'll start munching at this point here. Look, underneath, looking pretty solid. Obviously they're chopping trees down. Sorry about the noise. And of course the last look of sad face pie. Bugger. Okay, pie, you're going down. Here we go. Pretty hot. It's pretty hot. Okay. For those that have just joined us, this is a country chicken and bacon. It's not a steak and cheese. There's the contents. Chicken is in a creamy white sauce. First impressions, not bad. We've got a little bit of movement on the pie. You can see there, look, it's just starting to flex. Always a bad thing. It's a bad sign after the first bite, the pie is starting to flex. Could be a problem. Pastry doesn't seem over thick. Tastes nice as the pastry. It is very hot though. Oh, hang on. Overbuilt automotive. Yep, the food's in the toaster still. It is. Not anymore though. Got it. Mike Bazanski, nice diagnostic. Ivan will be proud. Yeah, no parts required. Absolutely, just a bit of insulation tape and some more sheathing and tidy the whole thing up and just do a good job. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Take pride in your work. Simon, good bit of diet, Andy. Yeah, I mean, I could have just taken that one panel off the right-hand side and visually inspected that wiring to start off with and taped it up and said it was done, but I wanted to check the whole circuit, the whole system, and actually have a little look around and see if there were any other issues down there. And that poor little bike had been butchered, you know. Quite a few techs have been in there probing wires, actually cutting wires to connect the multimeter and then solder them back together. I mean, what the hell, seriously? You know, clearly they haven't got any little back probe pins, which is the first problem. They're not expensive. Wow, that was hot. JJ, can you, or have you already done a video on electrical testing and using the tools you just mentioned, please? Pico, etc. There are quite a few videos on the channel already using the Pico scope. In fact, there is a good one that was quite recent. I say good, that's for you to say. On a Suzuki King Quad on the idle speed control valve. Not quite the same circuit, but sort of works in the same way. That's the 6-wire I was talking about earlier on, same as on the ROVs. And that shows the scope in use, how to set the scope up. There's quite a few others. In fact, if you look on the channel, there is a playlist of Pico scope videos, so you can check those out. And we test various sensors and actuators using the scope in each of the videos, and it shows you how to set the scope up. You can also go onto the Pico Technology website and download the software free of charge. There's no limit to how long you can use it, and you can actually play around with that. Even though you haven't got the scope, you can play around with the software. So it's very, very useful. There's also on the Pico Technology website tips on how to set the scope up for each particular test, which is very, very comprehensive and really useful, and I do use that on a regular basis. Very, very good, actually. Pico have done a wonderful job for the industry by producing those scopes. Not bad. Very hot. Not bad at all. And it's given a pack of 3, so I've got 2 more of these. I think I'll have 1 for an evening meal with some nice boiled potatoes and maybe some sweet corn would go down well. So, taste stroke flavour. Contents. This is not the pastry, this is the contents of the pie. It's all right. I mean, chicken pies are not my go-to pie. It's quite rare that I ever have one. Although there's a chicken pie that is the head of the leaderboard at the moment. It was just incredible. This is not as good as that pie, by the way. 7. I do it at 7 for that. Now, we're almost halfway through the pie. Structure fully partners. It's definitely a one-handed pie. It's actually recovered very well, despite those original concerns we had about structure and the cracks. It's integral. It's all one piece. It's definitely could still be a single-handed pie. Would you drive? Well, it's not over flaky. You probably could get away, although I wouldn't endorse this because that would be illegal in New Zealand. You could probably get away with eating this while you're driving, I would say. Oh, and there's a chunk of chicken. Good job. Chunky chicken on toast. We used to have that as a kid. Chunky chicken on toast. That was nice. So Structural Foley Partners, pretty high score. Actually, it's good. It's all right. Could you ask for any better? Not really. I'm going to give it a 9. I think it did all right. I mean, it had those initial cracks, but they weren't detrimental, and there weren't any cracks relating to the cuts that were made in the lid. So, you know, thermal cracks. So that was pretty cool. Runnability test looks pretty congealed, even though it's really hot. So 45 degrees, 30 seconds ish. Can you see anything dribbling out? I can't. It's really holding its own, isn't it? There's nothing coming out of there. So you could be on the phone, you could be waving your pie around, you know, while you're expressing with the conversation, and you're not going to lose any contents. Extremely good. I think it should score quite high on that. 9? Is it a 10? I mean, apart from a bit of pastry crust, I think we'll give it a 9. Oh, we'll give it a 9. Okay. Meat quality. Well, chicken's always a bit dubious on quality because a lot of the chickens are battery chickens these days, aren't they? I suppose especially chicken that goes in pies, because you don't really see it. They can hide it away. Oh no. We've dropped a bit. Bit of carrot, that looks it. There you go, look. So there's a good piece of chicken that you can see there, look. And it looks pretty good. It doesn't look like it's tumbled. Tastes okay. The meat tastes okay. Meat quality. 6? I think a 6. It's not as good as the top pie at the moment. Pie to crust ratio. Well, it's actually quite thin, is the pastry. Very thin along the base. The top, even though it's got a bit of sort of flaky pastry on the top, it's not over thick. The corners here normally are the big chunks of pastry on a pie, and it's not horrendous. It's not all gooey and uncooked. It's not bad. I think they've got a pretty good balance there. Pretty good balance. Maybe a 7. I think maybe a 7. Maybe no, I'll give it an 8. We'll give it an 8. What the hell? Now, availability stroke logistics. All I can go by, and the only place I've ever seen these for sale, which is only recently, is the Countdown supermarkets. So you can order them online. Well, and they will deliver. Countdown will deliver, because you can do click and collect, and they'll also deliver it in a van for you. So you can get them, but they're not ready to eat straight away. They won't deliver to all parts of New Zealand, but they certainly will deliver to where I live. There's no problem with that. So to all intents and purposes, you can buy them online, and you can buy them at all the Countdown supermarkets. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. I think we should give them a reasonable chunk for that. You can't buy these at the dairy or a corner shop or the bakers, because the bakers make their own. But if you want one of these, you can get them online, and you can get them from your local Countdown supermarket. And there's Countdown supermarkets on all the local, all the major towns and cities and so on. So, not bad. What are we going to give them? Are we going to give them an 8? 7? Difficult one, isn't it? Countdown supermarkets and online. But you can't eat it immediately, regardless of where you buy it from. I think a 7. Let's give it a 7. Okay. Now, pastry taste rating. This will be a good one. Let me get a bit of pastry off it without destroying the pie. There we go, look. Right. There you go, you can see inside the pie now, look. That's all right. It's actually quite tasty. And there's no weird aftertaste, because some pastries have a weird aftertaste to them. Tastes cooked, which is nice. I'm going to give it a 7. I think it seems to be a lot of 7s at the moment. Still tasty when cold. Chicken pies normally don't taste particularly good when they're cold. This is far from cold, so we'll have to leave that one for now. Packaging design. Well, each pie is individually wrapped in a plastic bag. However, they also come in a box. I mean, I've only got the lid, so bear with me. But they come in a cardboard box, which obviously somebody has designed to take 3 pies. So there's been a bit of effort going on there. And of course, they've put some bits and pieces on the, some printing on there to see what's inside it. You can't see the pies when you buy them. There's no holes or viewing windows in the box. So, packaging design, made a box, specific box, and they put printing on it. I think that's pretty good. And they've obviously sourced the bags as well to store them, so that's part of the packaging. So I think they've done quite a pretty good job. I'm going to give them... It's a bit hard, isn't it? I haven't got the full box. I'd like to have the full box, but I haven't got... I did see it yesterday, but I didn't take a lot of notice, to be honest. There was way too many people in the supermarket to... It's just get the food, get it, get paid, get out. I'm going to give them an 8. You may think that's a bit generous. I don't know. Let me know if you think it is. Oh, hang on. Got to scroll back. You're all busy commenting. And the correct way to load test too. Oh, load testing is pretty easy. Yesterday I was just using a 12. Obviously, you disconnect the components. So the ECU is disconnected, the idle speed control valve is disconnected, and you just get a 12-volt battery. Put one of the, doesn't matter which terminal, put one of the terminals, and you've got to make sure that everything in the circuit is disconnected. So if it's a multi-component circuit, make sure they're all disconnected. Otherwise you can cause damage. Once it's all disconnected, connect one side of the battery to one end of the wiring, the plug, obviously back probed, and then use a fly lead and your bulb, and then to the other side of the battery. And the bulb should light. If there's continuity, if there's flow of current, the bulb should light. And if the wire's in good condition, the bulb should be nice and bright. Whilst the bulb's on, just wiggle the crap out of the wiring as well. Give it a tug, give it a pull, wiggle it all around. And if the bulb starts to flicker, if it goes out, you've found an issue within that section of wiring. Just make sure it's not your back probes that have come loose. So maybe repeat the test 2 or 3 times to be absolutely certain there is a fault with that particular wire in the loom. You can then make the decision, do I dig into the loom and replace the wire, or do I just cut it at each end, which is what a lot of techs tend to do, cut it at each end and then put a new wire on the outside of the loom, solder it all together with heat shrink and stuff, and then tape it to the loom. If it's a long length of wire, say on an ROV or a quad bike, then often that's the preferred repair, because actually getting access to the whole loom and taking the whole loom apart to replace that one wire is very difficult. However, you sometimes can miss other wires in the loom that have also been damaged. So the best way to do it is to dig into the loom and get a visual check and actually find the break, so to speak. Benny Mac. Hi, are you in Auckland? No. Benny Mac, I need a diesel mechanic in Dunedin. Okay. No good for me because I'm not really a diesel mechanic. I've worked on diesel engines over the years, but I wouldn't class myself by any means as a professional diesel mechanic. I can spread the word for you. I don't really know anybody down that end of the woods that does diesel work. Although Sheldon's going to hate me now. Oamaru, just up the road, Sheldon does a bit of work, so if you've got a job that you need doing, he might be able to help. It still tastes all right. It's good. Simon, on the subject of motorcycle scan tools, have any of you used the OBD Star MS50? Is it worth the money? I haven't, Simon. I as you know, I use manufacturer's scan tool. I don't have any aftermarket ones. Choppers Rule 1. I'm back, mate. My phone rang. They have a habit of doing that, don't they? I really hate wiring with a passion, lol. I actually like doing wiring. I enjoy it. I enjoy finding the fault, and I enjoy doing the repair to a good standard and fixing the problem. A lot of techs are very much the same as yourself, where they shy away from wiring. They'd much rather do an engine rebuild than do the wiring. I'm in some respects, am I the opposite? I think I am. I actually probably prefer to do wiring than do major mechanical repairs, especially engine repairs. I don't mind doing engine repairs, but it's very time consuming and it takes a lot of space in the workshop, and often it's in bits for quite a while, waiting for parts. And then I've got to try and remember how the hell the whole thing goes back together again. Whereas wiring, it's just wires, you know, and I like to learn more. I'm focused more on learning using the scope, building my knowledge base on that, especially within a particular brand, the one that I'm not allowed to mention, because, you know, once you get to learn what's a known good on the screen, as regards your captures, then it helps you even more to diagnose what the problem is. That's sort of what I'm focused on. It is cooling down, this pie. As it's cooling, it's definitely tasting less favourable. So, as regards till tasted when cold, the score is dropping at the moment. Recyclable score, difficult one. The box is fully recyclable, it's just cardboard. However, the little plastic bags that the pies come in is not recyclable. So, and there's 3 bags. So I'm just going to give it a 5 because I think that's sort of a midpoint in there. Pie server attractiveness was jumped straight to the last one. It was a gentleman, yes. Out of all the tills, the tellers, what we call them, at the supermarkets, just happened to pick the only one with a gentleman serving. Fate, I suppose. Wasn't a bad looking lad, I suppose. I did quiz Mrs. Mechanic on the drive home, and she said, "Oh, you know, I'll give him a 5 or a 6 without any problems." So we'll err on the benefit. We'll give him a 6 because he was a young lad, and he did a great job. He was very, very helpful. Offered to pack the bags for us and everything, which was great. Where's my mouse? There he is. Now, Mike Bazansky, yep, electricity. Electricery. Yeah, pretty much. Connor K, click the like and show support for pies and Andy Mechanic. I like the way, Connor, you've got the priority right. Pies first and then the Andy Mechanic. All good. Troubles Rule 1. I had an intermittent fault with my turbo diesel Triton. It would splutter when on low idle and revs. It turned out to be 2 relays and a fuel rail sensor. Clean the injectors, works great now. $1,400 later. Diagnostics is a good money earner when you know what you're doing. You can, you know, if you're efficient at it, you can make some decent coin. And I remember when I was teaching at Unitech, you know, the students, and I probably taught about 120 students over the 5 years. You know, regularly they come to me and say, "Look, you know, I'm really keen to work in the automotive industry, but I need to earn more money than a normal mechanic." And I said, "Well, you know, for you, you're pretty good at the electric side of it. Why don't you focus more on that and go into doing auto electrics once you finish the 1-year course with me?" And some of them did, and they've done very well out of it. It's a skill in itself, and it's certainly a skill set that's lacking at many areas throughout New Zealand. You know, electrical diagnostics is a real problem. A real problem, and a lot of places will spend, you know, they'll just burn time with a normal mechanic that hasn't really got the proper skill set to do it. They'll just burn hours, if not days, chasing the tail trying to find the fault. It's pretty good. We got a bit of oozage coming out. What the hell's that? I think we had a chicken hair in there. What is that? It might be one of my moustache hairs, actually. I think it is. We'll give it the benefit of the doubt. A moustache hair was in it. Okay, so we can go for stuffability score now. Do I want another pie? No, I don't want anything else to eat. It was okay. It's sort of, that last mouthful's taken a while to go down. I don't know why. That's better. Okay, so still tasty when cold. I don't think it'd be that tasty in all honesty. I think it's the kind of pie you've got to eat at least warm, if not hot. And it was tasty, you know, I enjoyed it. But as it got cold near the end, it wasn't anywhere near as tasty. So it's going to score pretty low on that. I'm going to leave it at 3. I'm not, you know, would I eat it cold? Absolutely not. Post pie heartburn factor. I don't think it's too bad. I've had a few burps. It did take a while to go down the last bit. Probably not related to heartburn, but it's certainly a biological factor, isn't it? You've got to take into account. I'll give it a 7 for now, just because it just feels a bit weird at the moment. That score may, you know, I'll reserve the right to change that score if need be. Stuffability score. Good chainsaw. He's going for gold, isn't he? Hopefully he'll run out of petrol shortly. Oh, there you go. Perfect. Right, heartburn factor's now 6. Bugger. Stuffability score. Yeah, I'm pretty stuffed. I'm going to leave it an 8. I don't want any more. That's it. I'm done. Okay, let's do a quick tally of the scores and see where this one ends up. Here we go. Turn you round. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Look, you can see all the scores. So you got to check my arithmetic. It always puts me on the spot, does this, doesn't it? It's like marking at work. Okay, so we've got 16, 25, 31, 39, 46. Oh, my mic's in trouble. 46, 53, 56, 64, 69, 75, 83, 89, I believe. Hopefully I'm correct. Let me know if I'm wrong. We've got 89. So I'm just going to have to call this. I don't know who makes it. So I'm just going to put country chicken and bacon. And this was from Countdown. Countdown Supermarket, and it got 89. Right, let's go and see where that ends up on the board. Here we go. Dum 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 dum. Keep the focus, camera. Keep the focus. You can do it. You can do it. Right, we'll stick that up there for now. 89. We've got a few at 89, haven't we? Look at that. So we can just move these ones down a bit. I did put some of these on the red cabinet, but it just didn't work. They were a bit too long for that, so they came back on here for now. So I left a bit more. There we are. Look, that'll do. Boom. Well, it's not done too bad, really, has it? I mean, you know, there's the top. Atter's bar, chicken, bacon, and mushroom, and cheese. Put it all in one pie, then you know you're going to get a good score. Down here, Countdown's country. I don't think it's not a Countdown's own brand, but I don't know who made it, to be honest. I didn't have the whole box. So country chicken and bacon, 89. It wasn't a bad pie. Would I have it again? Well, I'm going to have it again because I've got 2 more of them. Would I have it again? Yes, I would have it again. It wasn't bad. Definitely not a pie. Morning, Lily. Definitely not a pie that I would have out of choice, though, it would be sort of one of those last resort pies. Right, turn your back. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Sort your camera out, Mr. Young. There we go. Right, that's better. So, where are we at? We are 1 hour, 1 hour and 25 minutes in. Don't worry, Mrs. Mechanic, it'll only be a short live stream. It's never a short live stream. Right, pie is done. We've done the extortionate costs on sandpaper and screws. Both were sort of quite expensive, really, in comparison to other prices around the world. Duct tape, however, was a little bit cheaper, which I thought was really surprising. Okay, scrolling back up. Gerald Sorg. Hey, Andy, how is the mice problem going? Well, believe it or not, geez, can I find this video? You'll laugh at this. See if I can find the video for you. I did film it. Is that it? Bear with me. No, that's it. I have to pre-watch this. There he is. Hang on then.
Going round.
Stop. Is it going to rotate? Bear with me. Bear with me. This, you'll like this. Okay, is it going to rotate now? It is. Okay, we're going to play.
Mr. Ratty, where is he? Where's number 2? Oh, a mouse on camera. Brilliant. Right, so Mr. Mouse is...
Mr. Mouse made an appearance whilst I was doing the video, the follow-up video of Mr. Rat and his family, Mr. Ratty. So there you go. We actually caught a mouse on camera. So the mice do live in the workshop. It turns out that Mr. Mouse also likes peanut butter. Yeah, I don't want to give anything away. I don't want to give any stuff. I want the video to tell you, so I can't say any more. But Mr. Mouse Mr. Mouse and his family is definitely still around the workshop. I was sat over on my table, just about the same sort of place yesterday, while I was doing the Friday while I was doing the diagnostics on that bike, and little mouse just popped under the drawers on the back of the shed. Just potted across. He wasn't running. He was stopped, had a little look, acknowledged that I was there, and just sauntered off. He was quite happy, and I could hear him rummaging around up in the rafters for most of the morning after that. So we still have a mouse problem. Not too concerned about mouses. Definitely very unhappy about rats at the moment, but I think we are making progress. Once the rat issue is dealt with, then I may well pursue the mouse issue at the same time. But I'd much rather the mouses lived out here than go in the house. So maybe it's a case of, do I eradicate them, or do I just let them live here and then not want to go any further? Yeah, because they're in the workshop. It's far better than in the house anyway. So, scrolling back. Simon, this will make a good video continuity. Continuity versus loads test, as continuity will show good on one strand of good wire. That's right. But load test will burn the strand out, showing it on a test board maybe. That will be a very good video, Simon, actually. And a video that I can direct techs to watch to understand why we do load tests. Only a short video. I don't make it too long. It doesn't need to be a long video. It's a very good idea. I should take a picture of that, Simon, so I don't forget. It's in the phone. It's there for me to go through and check. Jim Haynes, I am a Natural Bridge Speedway. I'm in Natural Bridge Speedway for our first sprint car race of the year. And as your season down there is ending, but I did hit the like button. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate that. John Nuttall, I once drove a car off a 4-post ramp with the door still open. Oops. What's your biggest mess up as a mechanic. Entirely my fault, mess up. Well, I think it does involve a two-poster hoist. And it was when I was working at Firestone. We had a car up on the hoist. I think I was just fitting tyres to it. And I'd already removed one of the rear wheels. And the front wheels are still on the car, so I'm just starting at the back. I'd already taken one of the rear wheels off, and I came to take the other rear wheel off. And as I pulled the wheel off the studs, the car, wait for it, the car started to lift off the two rear arms. And it was obviously nose heavy, and it would have been an extremely dangerous situation. So I just dropped the wheel, grabbed the car, pulled the car down, because it was only very, it was only the weight of the wheel that was the difference. So pulled it back down and got my mate to lower the hoist until it was sort of a safe distance off the ground, and then put the wheels back on and then moved it around on the hoist so it was better balanced. It could have been horrific. We've all seen the videos on YouTube of cars falling off two-poster hoists. It would have made a terrible mess, could have killed somebody. Didn't do the little lift test that you're supposed to do at either end of the hoist to make sure it's sat correctly and well balanced on the hoist. This was a few years ago. Probably rushing, probably against the clock, probably late in the afternoon. Don't really remember too many specifics. That was definitely, potentially, a very serious mistake. And we all make them. But it is about being observant, If you grab the wheel and I just turned to go to the time machine, I wouldn't have seen the car lift. So at least I was actually, checking for it, but I should have done the lift test at either end. So yeah, I messed up. Clyde. Afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, Clyde. Welcome to my workshop. Banana Brooks. Hey up. How's the DR trip video editing going? I haven't even started. I was telling Mrs. Mechanic yesterday or last night, we really need to pull our finger out and start editing that. I'm on the road a lot for the next 2 months, so I will take my editing laptop with me and I will actively crack on with that. I've got one more video, which is the follow-up for the CB radio fitment. I know I didn't get very many views, but it's part of the continuity of the whole trip. It's the build-up to the trip. So I do need to edit that video up and get it out on the channel before I then start to do the trip videos, so that then they hit the channel in order. And plus, it's easier to edit when you do it in order, because otherwise you can make mistakes. Continuity is important. I'm waiting with bated breath for the ride videos. Me too. Or is the missus that fed up with the editing that scraping paint off skirting boards is a welcome relief? We just haven't started, and I haven't actively wanted to start the editing of those videos until I've done the ones pre-trip. You know what I mean? I know, but all good things come to those that wait. Isn't that what they say? But it is going to be a mammoth editing session. I will never want to edit another video after I've done that trip. I know that. It's going to be hard. Audio Origami, hello from Scotland. Terrible accent. Where is the classy apprentices? Well, they're not here today. Tool Girl Holly is up in Auckland, as is Lilli. But we've not really scheduled any kind of filming at the moment. I've just been too busy, and I am still too busy for a while. And there really isn't a project at the moment that sort of lends itself well to requiring an assistant. So we're just going to have to wait a little bit. It will happen. At some point, it'll happen. Ben T. Haddock. Hey, mate. I have a postie bike. Only the high beam works, no low beam. Any thoughts? What could be the issue? Bulb? I don't know. Pop the bulb out and see if you've got a voltage supply on low beam circuit. If you haven't, trace it back to the switch. Probably the switch gear's got a bit crusty. If high beam's working, then you've got a good ground and you've got a good supply, obviously, on high beam. It shouldn't be too hard to fix. It might just be a loose connector in the headlight. You'll find it. Shouldn't be a hard one to find, but it could well be the switch gear, because the switch gear is a wearing component. John Dwyer, but do check the bulb first. John Dwyer. Hey, Andy and crew from sunny UK. Happy Easter. Happy Easter to you too, John. Yes, it's a funny kind of Easter, but I'm going to be doing concreting today on my Easter Sunday, I think it is. Gerald Sorg, what trap was the best? I can't tell you that. I can't. But I can tell you that one of the traps, no, two of the traps did the job. There you go. That's all I'm saying. Two of the traps did the job. Are there still any more ratties around? Not sure. I've got conflicting evidence. So it might be Mr. Mouse that's messing things up. But you'll find out in the video. How's that? And the video won't be that far away. I will definitely get that one edited up this week. Hopefully. No, next week. Because I've got to buy a toy rat for the video to do the last bit of filming. Yes. Bear with me. It's complicated. Oh, that pie is repeating now. Chopper's Rule 1. Stop talking about food. You're making me hungry. That, unfortunately, is a side effect of watching my live streams. I haven't had breakfast yet, lol. Well, I've had my breakfast now, and I'm not hungry at all now. Connor K, take Mickey down. Yeah, you want me to get the mice as well, don't you? It'd be sad, though. Little mouse, sometimes he runs out and he sits on the workshop floor and he just looks up at me. For a good 5 or 10 seconds, sort of studies what I'm doing and thinks, yeah, I'll carry on. And off he goes. He just scampers off behind one of the roll cabs. Doesn't cause me any harm. Doesn't leave a mess. Not like rat. Rats are so bad. Overbuilt Automotive. Andy. SV Seeker. YouTuber. The guy built a big boat. He sails stuffed rats called bilge rats. What the hell? We've got a blue dot in the way. Here we go. Andy SV Seeker, YouTuber. The guy built a big boat. He sails stuffed rats called bilge rat. Use it as a reenactment mouse that meets its end, lol. Ah, bilge rat. Interesting. I feel a mail order thing coming on there, an internet purchase, and I want to get the video out before I can wait for postage to turn up. But I'll check it out. Thank you for that. Gerald Sorg done happy Easter, Andy and family. Thank you, Gerald. Overbuilt Automotive. Yes, Connor. Seriously, all sad. What's on with Disney World? Just dark angers. Anyone that cares about kids. I didn't hear that story. Overbuilt Automotive. Yes, happy, humble Easter. It is. Always humble. Hang on, it's gone out. Too much talking. Gerald, I'm from the United States. United States, in fact. Simon. Hang on, scroll down, scroll up, get rid of the blue dot. Jeez, hang on, where's your mouse gone? Come on, laptop, you're not that old. It's a grain of rice for a mouse and raisins for a rat when it comes to their droppings. Yes, rat droppings are very clearly rat droppings, and mousey droppings are definitely clearly mousey droppings. Mr. Mouse is pretty tidy, in all honesty. He doesn't leave a lot lying around, and there definitely isn't a mouse family living in the shed at the moment, in the workshop. So I'm not overly concerned about Mr. Mousey. If he can keep himself to himself and just pop in for a quick hello now and again, I'm sort of okay with that. I think he's got every right to do what he does. If he starts making lots and lots of little mouses and we start getting plagued like we were a few years ago, then we have a problem. Then he's going down. Gerald, Andy, when is Holly coming back on? I don't know. In the next 2 to 3 months, I would say, will be a fair period of time. Maybe sooner. I just don't know. It depends what comes in. You know, if there's a job that comes in that really I would benefit from having an assistant, and it's something that Holly wants to do, then we'll get her back in for it. At the moment, she's still just getting settled in her new job. She works for a major car importer for New Zealand now, on the parts side of things, and she's got a really good prospects to progress her career as well at this new job. So she's very, very happy about it. Connor K. Rats sometimes climb up mooring lines and hide on ships. Also, bilge rat is sometimes used as a nickname for engineers. Didn't know that. I suppose down in the bilges. Down there where the engines are. So, last cigarette has gone. We've done the pie. We've done extortionate costs of hardware in New Zealand, which is ridiculous. Those roofing screws were way overpriced for what they are. So I was ripped off with those. So I will definitely explore the screw fix possibility. Thank you, Simon. Although freight might be quite expensive, the shipping, because they're really heavy. So that might work against it. I don't know. But if they're as cheap as you reckon they are, it still might be cheaper all up. Overbuilt Automotive. Well, got to run and get stuff done. Me too. And as always, be blessed and stay safe all. Thank you very much, Overbuilt. And thanks a lot for all your comments today. You've been really good on that. 56 Crown Vic. Hello, Andy and crew. What the hell was that? Mrs. Mechanics moving stuff. Gerald Sorg. Okay, Andy, tell Holly I miss her seeing her pretty face. I will, Gerald. No problem at all. I'm sure we all do. Okay, crew. Thank you very much for joining me again today. I've enjoyed every minute of the live stream as always. It's been great fun. You've put up with me rambling on about all sorts of stuff. We've done diagnostics. It's been a pretty good all round kind of a day. We've given a bit of an update on Mr. Ratty and the rat traps. Watch out for the next video. There'll be that one, and there'll also be the last one on the CB radio install, the fix, because the first one was a bit of a disappointment. The second one covers the fix, because I had to do something. I had to get it working, so I did. Somehow. Can't give too much away, but we sort of fixed the problem. We got comms working between the two vehicles. How's that? John Dwyer, thanks, Andy. Overbuilt Automotive, thumbs up on video. On video. Very we all lol, Bigfoot clawing or Dogman. Oh, Bigfoot clawing or Dogman. Okay. Gerald Sorg, keep up the good job and the video. Thank you, Gerald. Overbuilt Automotive, pardon the grammar. Yeah, it's terrible. Very hard to read. Okay, guys, thank you again. I will see you next Sunday, 8:30 a.m. New Zealand time. Cheers. Over and out.